This site says it all. Bring your hammocks, bring your bikes, bring your paddlecraft. Good morning from Burnet Island State Park, just outside of Cornell, Wisconsin. This is my campsite, right on the water. I'm gonna go across the road here. I'm on the outside loop. Let's look at the inside loop. It's a massive campsite here too. It's got to pull through. Most of the sites are on water on the inside or on the outside. It's an amazing little campground. Now, the way the park is laid out, there's a one-way loop around the park. So this is the main loop road. That's one way, and there's a bike lane throughout it. Now, there is a bike trail right off the park that you can ride to from here easily. You can ride all the way down to Chippewa Falls. So bring your bikes, bring your kayaks, bring your paddle boards, bring your canoes, whatever. There's plenty here to explore outside of the park. Now, this is my first time checking out one of the trails. It's bright and early, or not quite bright yet, but early in the morning. So I just walked the timber trail through the woods. It took me from the northern campground just past the southern one. That's the one that has the power. So it has all the RVs at it. And I'm coming out over here on the beach. Very large green space here for day use and for this beach. So the town's right over there. You can walk there. It's not far, or easily ride your bike there. And I don't know if you can see it if I hold steady long enough and zoom in. You can see the town's landmark, which is a massive crane. I think I have to find out what the history is on that. Right off the beach is this beautiful old shelter. Where friends and nature meet. That's what the sign says about the fireplace. There are several of these fire pits. Kind of nice. They're along the outer edge of the island here. But safely put your foot up right by the fire and cook your s'mores with a group and constantly circle around trying to find where the smoke is not going. Well, it's not a Baker pump, but I do appreciate not having to pump my own water just to get a drink. This is the South Campground, sites 1 through 24. These are not on the water, but the water's right there on their side of the road. I said these are more RV sites, mainly because they all have electric. And this is where the shower house is. We'll try a more detailed tour at the end. Well, they do have a boat dock across from the campground. It's not very big, but I guess if you bring your fishing boat, something more than the kayak or canoe, You can leave it here. Not a lot of people can. Oh, that is pretty on this glassy lake this morning. Now, if you don't have or don't want to carry your own kayak or canoe, you can rent here. I forgot what the hourly rate was, but it's $20 for the day. So at 8:30 this morning, I'm going to wander down to the office, get a key, get one of these for the whole day, and just kind of come and go as I please. I'll be able to take it here, put it in, and then paddle around the island and just leave it at my campsite for the day. I'm walking out to the ranger office which is way at the entrance of the park, to get the key, to walk all the way down to the other end of the park to get my kayak so I can paddle for the day. Okay, got my paddle, got my life jacket. Time to work my way to the other end of the park, get to my kayak. So to my left right now is the island that's across from my campsite. So right around to my left, after this bend, I should see my campsite. Go explore the backwaters around here now. So I'm still amazed at the lack of boat traffic out here. I really am guessing it's because there's hidden dangers in the water. You don't want to go zipping by, but it's just so quiet and boat traffic wise. I think I only had one wake that disturbed my canoe when it was parked. Kayak. Well, I have to say that sit on top kayak does not have the most comfortable seat. I can only paddle for a little while before my back really hurts. So, time for a walk. Hey, we're just paddling out here. So that was a nice, simple, easy trail. None of the trails here have hills, just maybe a little rise and fall. Anybody can take out the kids and walk these trails right next to the campgrounds, easy access. And it's easier to get lost on the waterways than on the trails in this park. Okay, I had to go into town to see and learn about this thing. This thing is bonkers big, and it is old, and I would have guessed it was from some mining thing or something like that, but no, this was built to stack wood, to create big huge piles of wood here. It's unbelievably big. Let me go get you some more information about this town. Alright, so this is the town of Cornell, Wisconsin, named after Ezra Cornell, but he didn't really found it. It was mainly Jean Burnet. He was born in France in 1791, came to this country in 1818, moved to Chippewa Falls area in 1828. He built first dams on the Chippewa River and Burnet Falls, which is now Cornell. First judge. Let's see, other things he did. He piloted the first raft of lumber from the falls to Prairie du Chien. He piloted the first steamboat up the river. He had a trading post here where he became a friend of Cornell. Now Cornell, as in Cornell University, came out here, bought up all sorts of land to create the logging industry out here, and on his deathbed gave it all to Cornell University as basically a rich endowment. But he did lay out the city plan and plot, which is what the city is mostly laid out as, but he died before it was implemented. But this beast, which is 175 feet tall, 35 feet at the base, 10 feet at the top, 45-degree angle, was built to stack wood. Stack wood for paper products. And this over here is the remnants of the sluice that they used to move the logs down to the paper mill. There's like 60 feet left of it, but there was a lot more. All right. Okay, after a few minutes in the information center, it's always helpful, visitor center there. Stacker was built in 1912. It was manufactured in England as a kit that was sent over here. There were these stackers all over the Northwoods. Most of them were just abandoned after use, after the lumber was gone. But here they would bring in the wood off the river and there's still water up to this point. Had a 2-story sawmill here that would chop the logs into 24-inch sections, and those 24-inch sections would be sent up. There was a little lever at the top that would send off different types of woods into 3 different stacks. So there would be 3 different stacks of woods, and then the sluice would take it over to the paper mill under the road, and through multiple steps there, turned into paper, where it never really got touched from this point where I'm standing on by a human. And that started in 1912, and this thing ran till 1971. And it's the last one standing in the world. All right, welcome to the North Campground Loop. Sites 25 through 69. This, because of its size, I'm going to take the time and walk it. 25. Now these are not electric over here. (26, 27). These are along the river over on that side. This is along the inland piece of waterway. We're up on the hill right now. It is backing up to it, but it's not the easiest in if you have a kayak or something. Not sure why we have hitching posts. So 28. There's a good distance to the water. (29) over here. (30) over here. And this 30 is a huge site. Doesn't quite back up to the water. See, the next one, 32 over there, is almost behind it and right up against the water. 31 over here. I'm not sure what the green tags mean, as opposed to the brown tags. You can see how far back they are. Pit toilet. (33) over here. I mean, you could fit any length of rig you want in here. So you can see the trees narrow it down. But he's even got his trailer off to the side and several tents. But of course there's no power, so nobody does that. 34 over here. Close to the water there. Not as big. This one sits high above the water at 35. 36 over here. (38). Did I miss one? Might have missed smoke. This is 38. Again, a very wide site from there all the way over there. And that one's down by the water. Lots of great trees for hammocks. People really like their hammocks in this place. 37. There's 37. Again, wide site. And this is like a double site. Morning. 39 over here. And this one was 40 along the river. Like I said, bring your bikes. It's a great place to ride. 41 over here along the water. Coming up close to the top of the island. 43 on my right. Right at the bridge where you can get out of this inland section to the river. My puppy. This is a great site over here, 42. It's not as big as some of the others, but it's got a great corner of water. See the hammock collection there. So that gets you a good view of the inland water here. There is debris through here, but people are coming and going. You got a good toilet there. This looks like a popular spot where people come and fish. Straight ahead is actually an island. There's no way to walk over there. All right, just over the bridge. This is 45. Again, a massive site. You can come in here, you can go out there, so it can be a pull through. All this area down here on the water. Put in and paddle on. 44. Sunset right over there. And there's been plenty of people who will paddle on by through here. This is 47. Again, a pull through or a massive back end site here. This is wide. 46 is a nice little site. Having the Sullivan Sport allows them to be able to just park that where you would normally just only be able to put a tent, because you can manually wheel it. 46, more hammocks, way down by the water. Now this is where the land goes out a little further past that. See, 49 over here, another massive site. Get really creative with how you use that. 50 here, not really on the water, but it's kind of surrounded by it. 51, a little closer back to the water. 52 on my right here. Goes to the inner waterway. Now let's go take another look at 53. This one is kind of unique. Again, massive drive. It's not right up to the water, but it's got this little extension out here. It's kind of private to it. And now you're on a peninsula. 54 on my right here. Dips down. 55 rises and falls back down towards the water, but we're getting a little higher up as we go here. 56, you can see how much extra room he still has left. 57 on my left, bends around all the way over here. 58 slopes back down to the water. A little bit of a gap, so you're not quite on it. The pit toilet. Then we get a little break off section here and here. '59 on my right is not a huge site. 60 goes all the way through and out the other side, so that's pull through. Not on water. 61, host to a big gathering. Morning. 63, kind of conjoined with 61. 64 on my right here, that's on the water very nicely. '65 is over here and empty right now. Set up a little bit, you're a few feet above the water, but still pretty close. Now this, you can't, well, you can drive in here, but we got trees blocking you here, but a big circle up front. 66 over here on my right in the woods. 62 on my left, don't understand the numbering. 67 on my right, right along the park road. Well, this is a pull through. 67's a pull through too. So if you don't like to back up your vehicle, and I got 2 left over here. 69 on my right with a white car, and 68 right here. And this is the pull through for the other one. So that is the Northern Campground, right on the water. It's a pretty unique campground. I've exposed and shown people where the other waterfront sites were before, but to have the whole campground where a good chunk of it is on the water is pretty unique. But not everything is, and not everything is equal, so that's why I do this video for you, so you can pick exactly the one you want. Alright, now I'm going to give you a tour of the South Campground. This is the campground that has the electric, so it is filled with RVs. It is not on the water. There's a trade-off there. Now, I'm not going to give you every site on this campground. I'm going to give you the general areas of the campground. It's pretty full. I don't like poking at everybody's sites when it's like that. But there's basically 2 or 3 sort of areas of the campground. There's the area into the woods. There's an area towards the water, but the water's still all the way across this field. So you got a little ways to go. But it does have the shower house. Alright, so I'm walking on the park road right now. You can see there's this section here that are kind of along the park road, but their entrance is from the other side. Now these sites along the park road are also very large, have a lot of space between them, and are the closest to the water. Whatever site this is has a pull through from the park road in, so that's a really easy access one. And it's the first one as you come into the campground. But actually it's sort of the last one, because you got to go right before you get to there. Okay, so the 3 sections here is you've got the road going around along the woods. Then you got a middle section, and then you got the section over here that is along the park road and towards the water. All of these have got a huge amount of space between them. There's no cover between you and your neighbors. Tenter over here. They don't even have an extension cord going to their tent. Still plenty of trees for hammocks. Nothing in this section until after the bathhouse now. So all of these are in the middle section. There are trees to dance around, but not too many. Still plenty of room to move around in here. And we do have the shower house here. It is walkable or ride your bike easily from the other campground, and there's not a restriction on, it's not a push button. You actually get to dial in your temperature here, and it runs as long as you want. Camp host over here, And then we have this row of sites that are backed up to the woods. Better chance of seeing some deer out there. This row, 8, 9, 10, not sure what else, but you can just see how much room. This is, all the sites are full over here, are taken, but there is a ton of room between sites. Plenty of room to figure out where to put whatever size equipment you have, with whatever slide outs you have onto it. And that's 12, 14, 13 over here. I mean, look, where do you want to set your stuff other than where the power is? That's the biggest thing that's going to determine where you wind up. So where's the power pole? 16. Can't tell, these people have. So these two are together. They come together. They have matching signs, and they put up their big screen house in the middle that they run power to. Alright, so essentially 24 sites, not a lot. Lots of room between them. I mean, if they wanted to, they could pack in a lot more sites there, but it's nice that they don't. Not on the water, but across from the water. But also, that's the beach over there. Easy access to the beach area from this campground. So that's my tour of Burnet Island State Park. Two great campgrounds with lots of space. There's not a lot of sites here, but you got two definite choices. You got the RV park sort of campground, but you're not lined up next to your neighbors. It's very nice. And the waterfront camping over in the non-electric section, where you are right on the water to drop your kayak or canoe in. So paddling opportunities galore here. Not a lot of motorboats. There's a lot of hidden dangers under the water. Unless you really know the area, you're good chance of hitting a log underneath. Biking. This whole loop has a bike trail, has a bike path all the way around. It's one way. So there's plenty of room there for biking. And it connects with the Old Abe Trail, kind of starts here or in Cornell, depends on who you talk to. But you can start here, go to the start point in Cornell, and go all the way down to Eau Claire, easily to Chippewa Falls. You get to Eau Claire, apparently you have to ride a little bit of road time, but you can also go down to another state park along the way. So great opportunities for biking. If nothing else, just through the park, a little bit beyond, or go for a full day if you want. Go into Cornell, don't miss the stacker. It's like, wow. It's massive. Read about Cornell, read about the other founder of the town. You sound like you're quite a wild man. If you've been here before, you got a favorite site, please let me know. Comment below where you've enjoyed it, how far out you had to book. I have a feeling this place, especially if you want to get a couple people together, you're going to have to book out close to the 11 months you can book with Wisconsin State Parks. Thanks for coming along. Hope you got a lot out of it. Please subscribe to my channel. I do a lot of these state park tours. If you want to figure out another place to go. I hear people here say, oh, I come here every year. Like, you know what? That's great. It's a beautiful site, but there are so many other Wisconsin state parks that are worth visiting too. And I am trying to get to every one of them and give you a tour of all of them so you can pick the perfect site, if it's available, anywhere in the state, and change it up once in a while. They all have something special to offer. So get on out there. I'll see you on the next one.